good, that's good. Okay. So looks like everyone's here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. My name is Zachary Morris, and I'm obviously a student here at Clear Horizons Early College High School. For independent study mentorship, we obviously have the wonderful opportunity to work with a mentor for the entire semester. And I worked with Dakota Sinks, and he's my mentor, and he's he's part of the dynamic application security team at Synopsys. It's part of the cybersecurity field. So today I just want to go over kind of what we've been doing for the past 16 weeks. So again, my mentor is Dakota Sinks. My evaluators today are going to be, it was going to be Ms. Rivera, but unfortunately she wasn't able to make it today. So Ms. Tidwell is going to be evaluating me in place of her, and then as well as the wonderful Ms. Johnson, and then our wonderful ISM teacher, Ms. Allen. And before I get started, I want to thank you all for coming today and taking the time to watch this presentation. So whenever I tell people that, like, all semester I begin the same question, why cybersecurity? People would say like it sounds boring. It sounds like people just ask me like why I want to do cybersecurity as a mentorship. So here are my 4 reasons. So the first was mainly that it's a wide range of skills can be applied. So there's a lot of subfields of cybersecurity. So like you can do anything from programming the applications to defending the applications, and there's just like a very wide range of skills in the field in general. So I think it's really cool because there's so many different things that can be applied and so many different like ways to go from just the field of cybersecurity. It's also a growing industry. Every day there's more cybersecurity jobs coming out, and every day there's more threats coming out. So it's really important, or it's a really good field because it's a growing industry, and there's a lot of potential for the future, and it's only going to keep on becoming more competitive and more important to our society. And then flexibility in the workplace environment. Most cybersecurity jobs, you actually have a lot of flexibility. Like my mentor Dakota, he works from home, but you can also work in a team at an office, and there's just a lot of flexibility as far as like what environment you're working in. And then the desire to learn field. I think that cybersecurity is a misconception as to what it is. It's more something that is just, it's hard to explain. It's cybersecurity, but I feel like a lot of people have a misconception that it's like very technical, which it is, but not in the way you might think it is. So it's definitely something that I want to learn and expand my knowledge on. So on our first day of the mentorship, my expectations were kind of like, I was definitely a little bit nervous because I'd never been in a setting like this before, but I also knew Dakota, so it was definitely probably not as nerve-wracking as other people. So I would say that the one thing that I was mainly expecting was for like it to be very like technical in the way that there's like a lot of typing involved, a lot of like things that you need to be like very precise on, like coding and all of that. And so it is still very technical, but just not in the way you might think it is. So I would say that that's kind of like was my expectations going in. On our first meeting, it was a little bit, that was kind of when the expectations changed, and I was definitely didn't know what was going on. And I was scared to ask questions because like I didn't want to interrupt his working. So it was really just like, I was kind of sitting there watching him work. But then in the second and third meetings, I ended up learning a lot more because I asked questions, and he did such a good job of like explaining everything in depth for everything I asked. So I really did appreciate that. And then the work environment was pretty calm on my first day. It was, he works from home, so he just gets to work him and his desk. He gets to kind of just like log in and get everything done. And so I really like the work environment for sure. And I've never seen like a work environment like that, so it was definitely different and really cool to see. So my responsibilities as Dakota's mentee is to make observations of him. That's the primary responsibility. I basically just was going in every day, and I was watching him work. And I could ask questions, but really the core thing that we did was I would just watch him work and then slowly kind of learn what he was doing and different different things that you do in the field. And then research for final product was definitely one. I researched all semester, and it was hard because you have to kind of compile it all into such a short thing for the final product. So it was a lot of research, and you have to kind of pick the things you want to keep that you feel are most important. And then complete log sheets. So this is kind of like the school side of things where it goes from like being the workplace of school. We do complete log sheets to kind of show all of the work that we're doing and all of the time we're spending with our mentor. And I would say some of the benefits of mentoring, being a mentee, is the opportunity to work with a professional in a possible future career field. So I think this puts me ahead of other people that may be looking to pursue the field because I have that experience working with a professional. I have that experience of like knowing a lot of the terms, having some general knowledge, and then experience a typical day and general knowledge are kind of just go back to like, I think it's a major benefit because working with someone that's a professional and does this as their job, it sets you really far ahead of anyone else who may be in high school that doesn't get this opportunity. So for my final product, we decided to do a YouTube video. I wanted to talk about application security, how it's applied to our everyday lives, why it's important. I really just felt it was important because I feel there's a lot of misconceptions with application security and cybersecurity, and I think that it's important to kind of have it all in one video because I can't really find I was never really able to find like the general information that goes into it, so I felt that it would be really good to have it all in one video where it's all in one place. So for this final product, I basically just had to do a lot of research. I mean, that describes my entire semester. We're just taking notes, doing research, learning everything that I can about application security, and compiling the most relevant information used for the video. And then as well as create and edit the YouTube video, which isn't really part of like the mentorship, but it's definitely was a pretty long process that I had to go through. So for my research goals, I kind of went over this in the last slide, but again, I wanted to talk about applications of it. What are the common threats to application security? I felt that was a big one because a lot of the things that we do at my mentorship is we are basically we're trying to prevent threats. We're trying to prevent like applications from being compromised. So it was very important for me to research that a lot. And then as well as what do careers look like in application security? Because it's hard to find information of like firsthand, like what is this career like when you're looking online. So I thought it would be good to have like a minute or two where I'm just talking about what a career in the field would look like and why it's like such a good choice in my opinion. So I do have the video for you today. It's about 4 minutes long and I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Do you mind if I turn the lights off super quick? And do a lot.
Check the volume behind you and
on the computer.
T-Mobile has reached a settlement with the federal government and will now pay $350 million to customers affected by last year's
data. The story is literally breaking as we speak. We are learning right now that Uber is suffering a computer system hack. Uber has been hacked, the rideshare company.
We're also learning about a new cybersecurity and ransomware threat directed towards schools nationwide.
Information of hundreds of millions of people could be in the hands of hackers after a massive security breach at
This morning, security officials on alert for possible Russian cyber attack.
What's up everybody and welcome to the first official episode of The Sky is What We Stand On. In today's video, we're going to go over application security, why we use it, how important it is, and potential future careers that you could have in application security. As you can see by those news reports, application security is no laughing matter. While application security is commonly the most overlooked subfield of cybersecurity, it simultaneously is one of the most important subfields we have. Applications have become an integral part of our lives. We use them for communication, banking, shopping, and much more. But have you ever stopped and considered how secure these applications actually are? Well, that's where application security comes into play. At its core, application security is the practice of designing, developing, testing, and implementing security measures to protect applications from cyber threats. Its general responsibilities involve detecting weaknesses and vulnerabilities in applications and addressing them to prevent any unauthorized access, data breaches, and other cyber attacks. The importance of application security cannot be overstated. In recent years, we've seen numerous high-profile data breaches and cyber attacks that have resulted in massive financial losses, as we saw at the beginning of the video. These also result in reputational damage, and legal repercussions for companies and individuals. It is absolutely crucial to ensure that applications are secure to protect sensitive data and maintain the trust of users. Now, let's talk about why application security matters in the broader field of cybersecurity. Applications are commonly the weakest link in the security chain, as they can be vulnerable to various attacks, such as SQL injections, cross-site scripting, also known as XSS, and remote code execution. Cybercriminals are constantly looking for vulnerabilities in applications to exploit and gain unauthorized access to systems and data. Application security is one of the most, if not the most, important layers to the cybersecurity ecosystem. It complements other cybersecurity measures such as network security and endpoint security to create a multi-layered defense strategy. Without proper application security measures in place, even the most robust cybersecurity defenses can easily be bypassed by exploiting vulnerabilities in applications. Now that you have basic knowledge of what application security is, let's talk about some of the exciting career opportunities within the field of application security. As the demand for secure applications steadily increases, so does the need for skilled professionals who can design, develop, and implement effective application security measures. There are plenty of rewarding career paths in the field of application security. Whether you're interested in securing web applications, mobile apps, or enterprise applications, there are ample opportunities to make a meaningful impact and contribute to the cybersecurity community. Most companies are even allowing employees to work from home and on their own schedule. Or you could go into an office space where you're working into a team. Overall, the application security field has plenty of unique and fun opportunities for a career. So if you're interested in exploring the field of cybersecurity, don't hesitate. Application security is one of the best options and quickest growing areas in the cybersecurity field. Thank you for exploring with us today in this episode of The Sky's What We Stand On. I'll see you next time. So that was the final product that we did. I want to talk about the impact that I feel that this final product had. You might have noticed I did say this was like an episode. I do plan to continue this series over the summer to continue making videos about the field. So that's why that part was there. So I feel that the impact the final product had, like in general, like what it will help help people with, is one, I feel that it's very highly accessible. It's on YouTube, so basically anyone in the world has a phone these days, and they can just go on there and find the video, and they can get general knowledge. So it will really help anyone to be able to get the knowledge without, and a lot of it will all be in one place. Another big thing that I thought was really good about it was that it provides a lot of general information instead of like it kind of shows that it's not, I feel like it kind of helps to show that it's not super technical. It kind of gives the information that is kind of welcoming, and it's kind of like, I feel it makes cybersecurity as a whole feel more welcoming if you're looking into it as a career. And then also provides information for a misunderstood career field. Again, I feel that cybersecurity and application security are more misunderstood, and I think it helps kind of talk about things that are done rather than just like kind of most people thinking that it's like someone just like typing on a screen really fast and like doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So the key takeaways that I had from my mentorship was, well, the main one was basic knowledge of application security. Again, I've learned a lot from this mentorship, and I really do think that it's going to set me apart of anyone else who wants to pursue the field. I think that it's improved my communication a lot, because this is the first time that I've obviously I've had professional communication like at school and whatnot, but this is like the real world. This is a real career for a real company. This is like, you need to show your professionalism, and you need to be very good at communicating. And then working in a professional environment was also very important for me. I thought it was one of the coolest parts of the mentorship. And then also I found a new hobby. It's so there's a lot of things in application security. There's a lot of things you can download to look at your own network, look at how secure it is, and you can kind of like learn how to read a lot of things. And so I think I've had a lot of fun doing this. I have all these things on my computer at home. So I think it's really cool to like look at these things and kind of learn about them. So it's genuinely something that I'm really interested in, and I've learned a lot. So in conclusion, I guess the main question is, would I do this as a career? And I don't have a conclusive answer, but I do think that this is definitely something that I want to look into. This is something that I really enjoyed, and while I'm not 100% sure that I want to do it, I think it's definitely, I basically went from knowing nothing about cybersecurity 16 weeks ago to now I have a lot of knowledge about it, and I feel that this is something that I would definitely be interested in pursuing in the future. So here were the resources that I used today, and this is mainly just resources that I used for my final product. I also used a lot of the knowledge from my mentorship for my final product. And I just want to say thank you for coming to my presentation today. I'm truly grateful for all of you to show up today. I want to thank my evaluators, Ms. Johnson and Ms. Tidwell, for being here, taking the time out of their busy days to watch this presentation. And then I want to thank my wonderful ISM teacher, Ms. Allen, for making the school year such a great year and just being such a great teacher and instructor to have. And then of course Dakota for kind of opening my eyes to the field and teaching me so much throughout the mentorship. And of course all of you as well. Thank y'all for taking the time to listen to my presentation. And before I conclude, did y'all have any questions that y'all might have had about my mentorship as a whole?
So you mentioned that you could download things to look at your personal network. Could you give me an example of
So the one that Dakota showed me it's called Wireshark. And then he also showed me, it's called Burp Suite, but he is the professional version, so it's a lot better than mine. But there is a free version that you can kind of just play around on it and see like all the things inside of applications that you can kind of see the whole database. And so I think that's a really good one. And then Wireshark as well, you can basically look at your entire network and you can look at everything that's going on and it's all in one place. And so at first like it just looks like a bunch of like letters and numbers on a screen, but once you learn how to read it, it's really interesting to look at because there's a lot going on the network. Were there any other questions today?
What do you plan to do like next year's presentation? Would you continue this?
I definitely think so. So originally I wanted to do a mentorship with a pilot. That's not really a secret. And then so that didn't work out. And I was planning on doing that next year, but genuinely I enjoyed this so much that I definitely think I would now pursue going with another person in the cybersecurity field. And I think I want to learn a lot more about it. Questions? All right, well thank y'all for coming today.